Well, we're back at the family lodge, Greenbrier Lake. I've got a couple tasks today and I've already accomplished one. I was in Terre Haute ordering the hardware for the repairs to the deck and pier. So now I'm going to try to get the second task is to try to get the water turned on to the lodge. It's been a week since we've been here. See whether or not the pressure held. Yes, it's still 35 pounds, so if there's a leak, it's a small one. Turn this back off. Go ahead and check both bathrooms and see if there's a leak in either one of them. I don't see any water. Flush that. I'll leave this one unlocked. No, it's the one I'll use. And I guess, I should have turned the pump on. Didn't even think about it. Nope. Sounds good. Building pressure. Big old log out in the middle of the lake. Oh, it's nasty in here with all the dead bugs. Everything working. We'll close this one back up. It says the water turns off there, it turns off. Turn the light off. Put this out here. We'll be back tomorrow to mow the retiree in tow. You can see some of the grass is already starting to turn to seed. The overcast, it is dark in here. Oh, if I can get my key out of the door, there we go. It's about 68 degrees, about 20 till noon. Let there be light. And there was light. Morning, Mom and Dad. Well, I'm opening up the pavilion. You can tell we've had quite a bit of rain. My rain gauge had a ½ an inch in it last night. Sticking a little. Brought a hammer with me, knowing that these are difficult. Oh, I say that, that one was easy. Oh, this one's not gonna be. It's hard just to lift up. There we go. Like I said, you can see the grass is going to seed. Water's about the same level as it was last week, and we've had another 2.5 inches of rain since we were last here. there's about the same level. It's going down some. I need to see if I can pull that back out of there a little bit. But I'm not going to do that today. You can see there's one repair I need to make. That is where carpenter bees have gotten in from behind and built a nest. And then the woodpeckers come along and try to dig out the larvae that they leave in there. It's the bees wouldn't be so bad, but it's the woodpeckers that do the majority of the damage. Yeah, I'm going to have to replace a lot on the seats also. Yep, I'll turn you back on when we start on the water. Okay, the first thing I want to do is flush the system. So I don't have anything, I won't have any water running to the shower at first, but the cartridge is out, the valve is out, so I put that PVC over the valve body just in case I forget. Turn the water on, it'll come out at an angle like that. Then I'm going to need to get down here. Need first to go out to the pump room, turn the water on to this sink. But before I do that, I need to turn everything off. First thing I need to turn off is the shut-off valve. That's off. And then I'm going to turn off the valve to the hot water heater. That means no hot water. I'm going to turn off the water to the showers. That's over there for the cold. Over here for the hot. And then we're going to leave this one open. You can see that is where it drains. What I'm going to do is put the drain pipe in here. There we go. What I'll do is once the water is on, I can turn this on. The water will not go up here. The water will try to go to the cold, so we'll turn it to the right, righty-tighty, so that's off. I'll turn on the cold water to the shower, and hopefully it won't go to the shower, but it will come out here. We'll turn this back on, and the cold water will run out through here. I'm going to turn off the hot water also, just in case. So that's the first thing we need to do. So the first thing I got to do is go out and turn the water to the system on. I'm back out here at the bathrooms. Actually, the first thing I need to do is open this up, and you can see the silver valve. And that is the drain for the pipe, the 3/4 inch pipe going to the lodge. So what I need to do, I'm going to turn on the water here. We should hear it pour out of there. All I'm going to do is I turn on this valve. It'll bring up water through here and out, and anything that's in there should flush out to that opening. Now I'll turn it back off real quick. see how much water came out. So I'm gonna, yep, it's difficult to get down. I'm going to close this off. There we go. Turn the water back on. If I did it properly, you won't get wet. You did not get wet. I heard the system fill. We'll close this up and go back into the lodge. Okay, water is on in here. What I want to do, see if anything comes out. Like if it does, it'll flow on down into the floor drain. I've got the drain turned off for now. Turn on the water, charge the system up to this switch, up to the cold water. I've got that off, so it'll just charge this system right now. You can hear how well it did. Now, anything that's in these lines, this should flush out. You can hear the ear. Ooh. Nice and black. That's why I like to flush it. Get all of this out of here before I turn things on. Water's starting to clean out now. Squeeze the bathroom. This water flowing that way. Off of my knee pad. There's some nice rust coming out of there. Need to get a longer pipe. And I think that's enough. We'll turn that off. You can see that the faucet is disconnected. So I need to connect the faucets. The individual, these go to the individual valves, hot and cold. And I need to put the long hose for the sprayer back on. I guess that's what I call it, is a sprayer. Get some of this water out of here so I'm not getting soaked. The drains up. This drain goes out to the side just above where the French drain is, around the foundation of the cabin is. And it really just goes out. It went into the rock at one time, but I would not be surprised if it's not stopped up or something. And well, it looks like it's drained now, but it was not draining real quick before. Nope. I'll grab me another pad so I can lay on it so I don't get so wet. These will just have to dry out. I'll adjust the camera so you can see what I'm doing in there. Just in case. Oh, the hose for the faucet, or for the spigot, is up here. The blue is for cold. Which, okay. Shut off. Make sure I had the hot turned off. Water moves to the valve. I'm just doing its finger tight. Okay. Now I'm going to, you know that we cleaned out this area. Hopefully it got up into the cold water valve and cleaned that. So now when I turn that on, we should be able to get water out of here. Let me adjust this so you can see. Okay. Turn on the cold water valve, and that should give us water out of the sprayer. Last two. That's why I've started to flush it. We don't want all that dirt and everything going into the aerators, into the valves, and into the valve stems. Here I've turned it all the way up to hot, which is not on, so I'll turn it back to full cold. Turn it on and off a couple times. Here's the all cold or clean water. There we go. Looks like a leak. Tighten up the sink, green. It's still leaking. Take a towel, dry this off, but I think it's still leaking. You need to loosen it completely and reset it. Should I say reseat it? It's coming out from around. It's coming out from around the drain plug itself. You know, if any residual water, a little bit is down in there and it freezes, it can cause a gap to form. I'll turn this back on, see if I fix it. Appears as if I have. Tighten this one more time. Drain tank somewhere, but I don't want to have to look it up right now. I've got a big adjustable rinse. I might be able to use on it if I need to, but it wasn't leaking. I can't get any more turns, so I think it's tight. See no water dripping. So, what I'm going to do now, I need to pipe the PVC from the shower. Down here is the drain for the hot water heater. I'm going to go ahead with all the dark water I've seen coming out. I'm going to go ahead and let it drain just a little bit. Turn off the valve up here. Turn on the valve to the water heater. Let a little water come through. Oh, I hit it off. I hit it off. hoping for the best because it came out dirty too. Oh yeah, I need to see it. Dirty, muddy water. Didn't last long. Let's hope it didn't clog up that. There's a little screen at the input to the water heater, and that's what I don't want to get clogged up. There's a lot of residue coming through there. I'm gonna wait until it's gone. We'll turn the water on. The water is nice and clean, but there's looks like some rust and other stuff floating at the bottom, being pushed out. Okay, we'll turn off this drain. Water has filled up the hot water side of the sink. Get as much water out of this before I have to take it off. It makes a little bit of a mess. There's a nice whirlpool going down in that drain, so whatever was in it had washed out. Now I need to put this back just in case, because I'm going to turn the hot water on, which also goes to the shower, but it should come out the drain instead of the shower. So, I've got the valve to the hot water drain turned off. And I've got the valve to the shower turned off. But when I turn this on, if I have the drain open, the water should go to the drain and not there to the shower. What I'm going to do now is turn the hot water valve on and see if we get all the way up into hot. See if I can find it by feel. There it is. All the way right. I want to go left. Get in around the drain pipes. Dirty at all, so thankfully I think we got most of it cleaned out. All the way cold, all the way hot. Off. And I don't see any major leaks. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the drain on for the hot water. And then turn the hot water on a little bit to the shower, which should put water through the drain and not the shower. Oh, the shower will do after we get the sink running properly. So, close the cold and the hot. And then we'll let a little water through with the hot valve. A little bit of debris came out, but not much. So, as far as I'm concerned, turn this off, the drain off. this out. The sink is operational except for the water heater, and that's what we'll do next. The water heater sits on its side, which is not the recommended way of doing it. The recommended way of doing it is straight up and down, but then it's hard to get the water. There's two big tubes where the heaters are that heat up the water. With it up, you cannot get all that water out of there. And the first one I had ended up busting at the top the second year. So ever since, I've laid them on their side so that those tubes can drain out. I can blow air in there and try to get all the water out before winter comes. So hopefully, when I power it up, it works without blowing up. So this is basically the smoke test for the hot water. Turning back on once I get the circuit turned on. We have turned on the 60 amp double breaker. The water is off. And nothing tripped. That's a good sign. Didn't expect it to, but now what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the hot water up on full. And then we're just going to let it, I'm going to let it run for a little bit, just run water through the water heater before I turn it on. One, I want to make sure I don't see any water dripping out of it. It's on full now. We got a leak again. I think it's in the PVC pipe now. I'll tighten all that up in a little bit. It's just a small leak. Cold, hot. Don't see anything else coming out of it. We'll turn this off. We'll flip the breaker down here, 60 amp breaker down here. That came on. Set it 125 degrees. Let it go off. And now let's see if it works. Came on, went off. Came on, went off. That is not a good sign. So what I'm going to do, by pushing the big button, it resets it. Wouldn't be a day down here without problems. Turn the AC off. Turn it back on. Try to turn the water on. Water off. All I'm going to have to do, I'm going to open up this nut at the top, take the pipe out. Right in here is where that screen is, and see whether or not there's any debris in there. But the thing is, if there was debris, we shouldn't be getting any water pressure out of the, if it was stopped up, we wouldn't be getting anything out of the hot water. So I'm just shotgunning right now. Turn this down a little. Try to turn it back on. Turn the water back on. Put it down to 100 degrees. Okay, I'm going to set for 100. At least the electronics are working there. I'm not sure that the water flow detector is. There it says 100. It goes right back off. See whether or not we get any heating whatsoever. I don't think we will. To be honest though, it sounds like it's heating. Next thing is to open it up, look in it, make sure there's any leakage, water leakage, and we got a problem. I'm not too sure that it's not heating up a little bit. I should definitely be able to notice 125 degrees. Coming on and then shutting back off. Water running in the shower. I didn't think there should be. Cold water shower is off. Hot water shower should be off. Well, I'm gonna get some tools and well, you know what? We may not have hot water for a while. I am going to go ahead and get the water to the showers turned on. First, let's get the faucet here put on. It has a tendency to leak bad, so so I'm going to turn you off. I got to find my O-ring kit. In the utility room, I have a O-ring and plumbing washers kit. First, I want to take one of the picks looks like if this came off, it's broken, or not broken, but it's got an opening, and it looks like if I can get it to come off, I can take the sleeve from around the hose and all the way down into the opening. I think it's actually metal. I don't want to mess with it. What I'd like to do is find an O-ring that will fit inside of there. At least that does. Go around the insert. That did. Now, put this one back in. See if that makes a difference. Nope. That's not very good. There we go. What I wanted to try to do a while ago was get that out. Tell whether this is broken or not. I don't know how I would get it back and get around that. There we go. Can I do that when it's in the body of it? Sure, I got the patience. A couple screwdrivers. I think that would solve my problem. I'm just not sure I got enough hands to do it. Flat-headed bladed screwdriver and see if I can force it that way. If that was complete washer at one time, which it might have been, that one could be why it's leaking so poorly or badly. I'm pretty sure that if I could get this on there, we would not have a leak. I'm not sure if I have enough hands to get that on there by myself. I'm going to have to hold on to this. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can find a vise or something that I can hold this with as a third hand. I'll turn it off while I'm looking. Okay, I went to get this. you how I was going to get that to work. So I went ahead, put the O-ring on there, and then pushed it forward, and then used the small screwdriver, wedged up against my body, and started working it around the edge, and it went in within about a minute. So I didn't show you that, but we'll see. I'm just going to put this on with no secondary O-ring just to see what it does. Works pretty good. The water pressure sort of forces it to close up. Thinking of putting another one. In there to help out. We'll see if that makes it better or worse. Better, or about the same. Supposed to also go to a stream, but after a year in this water, it locks up pretty good. So to that a success, I need to get a pair of wire cutters and get that off of there. And of course, the sink is done with no hot water. And then we're going to, as I cut that off, I'm going to start working on the shower. Okay, I've put some of the stuff away. Cut the wire tie. You can see that there's no showers coming out, so that was the whole problem, was that broken O-ring. This is the cartridge and everything for the shower. I'll pull this out. I want to show you, or listen. That's what the cartridge should sound like. It's got an internal plug that plugs up either that or that opening. You got cold and hot. So depending, if you got it turned all the way cold, the hot water pressure or the cold water pressure should push that against and stop water going back into the hot. If you got the hot all the way on, it does just the opposite. And if you've got them about 50-50, it'll move to the middle. And it's adjust with the water pressure. But in the past, that has been the biggest problem. That gets stuck because of the minerals in the water. So that's why I've been starting to take it out, cleaned it real good. I think I put some CLR or something else on it. I did not do WD-40 because it will eat at, for some reason, it loosens up these O-rings. So that is good. The first thing I need to do, I'm going to turn on the water under here, and we're going to look at the water that comes out there. We're basically flushing the lines out before I put the cartridges back in. Okay, first thing I want to do is I've just got this over the body of the valve. I'm going to turn on cold water first and flush the pipe that goes underground to here for the cold, and then I'll turn on the hot, and then I'll turn on them both. And when the water looks clean, I'll put the valve back together. First comes the cold. So you can see there's some guck that comes out of it, but it is fairly clean. I think I've got most of it out by flushing the sink. I don't have it on all the way, so now I'm going to turn it on all the way for just a few moments, and then I'll turn it off, turn the hot on. Now hot. It's partially on. I think some gook or junk is coming out. I don't recall. The floor of the shower was a little dirty, but I don't know that it was that dirty. So we'll let that run for a few moments. I'll go to full power. And then I'll turn that off and we'll put the valve back together. So full power now. At the end, I have them both on. I'll get the valve stuck together and then turn you back on when we put the valve in. Okay. Got all the parts laid out here. The nozzle up there. First thing we got to do is put the cartridge back in. That is a good sign when it rattles like that. It just pushes in. I need to check something before I go too far with it in. I think it's in the right way, but yes, it is. This needs to go all the way back in there. Push that rubber piece out. Push it back in without pushing that. Going to the sides of it. While I push, there we go. Needs to go back. There's a little indentation there that this tab fits into. And now there is a gap back there that this pin holds it in place. If you lose these, which I have a couple of them down behind the wall, it's either take the shower apart or buy some extras. So I bought extras, and they're out there in that black case with the parts for the plumbing parts for the pump room. If I can start this down in there. Not losing it. A little bit with that. There we go. Push it back in there. Now that just goes on top of it like this. So I'll turn the water on and hope that I don't get soaked. Both cold and hot are turned on. We'll go to cold. And they're hot. And then to off. So it's working. Pull the handle back off. Now this goes on. Maybe easier to put on. There we go. Now this is one of the most difficult parts of it. There it is. It's getting these long screws started back in there. You can see I missed that. There it is, I think. And the other side. This is the face plate. Yeah, it's tightening down. Brake on me, so I'll just tighten it slightly tight. Oh. Now goes the outer piece that provides the stop. It's in, and it goes down. There we go. It's on tight, and then it has a little thicker plug that fills in the hole so you don't notice it. Go back out, try it again. In fact, might as well go ahead and put this on, the nozzle on, so that I don't get completely wet. Do a quarter turn, just make sure that's tight. There we go. Turn it off to the side, try to not get too wet. There's cold. There's the warm. So we got good pressure on both of them. Both, and that is cold. So the shower is done, other than being cleaned. Now I think I'm going to take the cover off the water heater to see if we can see if there's anything wrong. You can see the cover just pops off. Put the knob back on. I got it opened up. I don't see anything out of the ordinary, so now I'm just going to turn the power back on. See if I see anything. almost get the hint of a little bit of hot circuitry. It hasn't been on for a while, so I don't know if something happened. And it's just the plastic. For some reason, it's tripping its internal circuit breaker. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to turn the circuit back on. Circuit breaker is back on. Once I turn it on, I do want to be careful because that's 240 volts, 60 amps in there. So I won't be sticking my fingers in the box once it's on. I just want to make sure I don't see anything that looks out of the ordinary. So here goes the power. I don't smell anything. Then I'm going to turn hot water on. So far, so good. It's actually getting warm. It's working now. Why? Why not? I have no clue. There was no water in it. So there was no leaks. I did just smack that a little bit on the input. That's where the water flow detector is. Oh, it's hot water. Let's turn it off and see what happens. Turned off like it should. I'm going to wait for about a minute. Turn it back on, see if it works. If it does, I'll turn the power off here, put the box back on, and see what happens. If this works, then we'll try the shower and see if the hot to the shower works. Let's try it. Hot water on. Turns on. Staying on. Hot water is warm coming out. Warm in my hand. But basically this heater, water heater, warms up water about 50 degrees warmer than the input, the water coming in. So the water out of the lake is still pretty cool coming in, cold coming in. But 125 gives you everything you need. You can take a shower in that. Turn it off. It goes off. I'm going to go into the bathroom or the shower, turn the shower on to the hot water and see if this turns on. Turn it on. I'll make sure we get hot water coming out, which there's no reason why it shouldn't. And then once I'm sure the hot water is flowing, I'll turn it off, make sure this turns back off. Good. There was warm water coming out, and it shut off. What I'm going to do now is kill the power. Box back on. There's no power going to it now with this switching off. Basically, we have this switch to turn it on and off, and I've got the circuit breaker that will trip. Lordy. Let's go ahead and take that off. Back on. Says it's on. Water on. It's on. Let's hope it stays on. So far, so good. I'm going to start putting some tools up, let the water run, let it get hot, give it the old test, longevity test. Okay, I put my tools up, squeegeed the floor of the shower to get most of the water out, and then put the pad back over the drain, keeping the must smell from coming back in. And it's been about 4 minutes. Off. Off. So, I'm calling this good. Turn this off so I don't forget it. And I'm going to start cleaning up. Well, the last thing I do before I leave, now that I got all the water turned on, I want to put a water filter in. I've just been running it straight. First thing I gotta do, we get this valve to turn. There we go. I'm gonna put it on bypass, and then I should be able to let the pressure off. There we go. Pressing the red button at the top. Take the wrench, and it comes off very easily with no pressure. Surprisingly, the water looks really clean. There's a little bit of brown to it. Now take the filter, I'm not going to put bleach in it this time. Get down here, centered up. Goes. Should be a good finger tight as long as I didn't lose the O-ring. There we go. And then turn it back on. And that is that. It's the last thing I plan on doing. Need to lock the door. Turn the pump off, turn the light off, and pull it shut. Let's see, the pressure is right about 45 pounds. So, as you can see, the sun's back out. Clouds have cleared off for the most part. Turned into a beautiful day, but after spending so much money this morning, which always upsets me, I am ready to leave. I've got the water running. I've got everything off. Pumps off, water heaters off. All I need to do now, I got everything in my car. Till tomorrow, Mom and Dad. Let there be no light. And there was no light. Got the door locked. All I need to do is pull it tight. And I'm out of here. So I'll be back tomorrow with the retiree to mow. So till then, everyone, take care of yourselves and stay safe.